Welcome back, everyone. As we all know, the Lakers have a lot of work to do to improve their team moving forward, and with that in mind, they cannot afford to take another big risk on a player that does not fit their team. They took perhaps the biggest risk that they probably ever could have by trading for Russell Westbrook, and well, we all know how that turned out. He turned out to be as poor of a fit on the court with LeBron as many thought he would be, and while they could have theoretically made for a great duo or trio with Anthony Davis had they found a way to make it work, that simply is not what ended up happening. They absolutely cannot, nor should they be willing to take a risk like that again, and in my opinion, they should turn in a different direction by going back to what they once were. The identity of the LA Lakers from 2019 to 2021 was undeniably defense. Nearly every major contributor on their team during that time frame was a defensive-minded player. And to no surprise, the moment they decided to move away from that identity was eventually their undoing. I mean, why change what worked for them so well? And with that in mind, not only do I believe that they should revert back to that identity, but they might want to think about bringing back a key member of their former team to help with that too. And the player that I'm referring to happens to be none other than former Laker Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who although is by no means a star player, he is the perfect kind of guy to pair with LeBron and Anthony Davis. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Well, he is not a free agent, so how do I expect the Lakers to bring him back? Or is it even possible for them to reacquire him through a trade? As many of you are probably aware of already, a player cannot be traded back to the same team that traded them away, or at least they can't for a certain amount of time anyways. If you did not know, a team must wait 1 full year before being able to trade for a player that they traded away. And come the month of July, the Lakers will be able to do that with Caldwell-Pope. Now, I know that is a bit down the line from now, but it's something to keep in mind. The team he currently plays for, the Washington Wizards, may not have him in mind as part of their future. He only has 1 year left on his contract and will likely not be getting a contract extension from them. And that could help to lower his value enough to where it might make sense for the Lakers to trade for him. And along with that, there is a few different ways for them to reacquire him through a trade. The first way they could acquire him is by directly targeting him in a 2-team trade, which means that the trade would only be between the Lakers and the Wizards, and that the trade would not involve many moving parts. In order to acquire Caldwell-Pope as the primary target in a trade, they would have to send back a player, or a group of players who are paid a similar amount of money compared to him. The simple way for them to do this would be by trading Talen Horton-Tucker as the primary player, along with a minimum contract player like Wenyen Gabriel, and then throw in a second round pick or two for good measure. If the Washington Wizards do not imagine Caldwell-Pope as a player to include in their future, then this trade would likely be more than enough for them to give him up. Washington has been a reoccurring trade partner with the Lakers for a while now, and they have often been willing to negotiate fairly with them, which could potentially lead to this becoming an even bigger trade, and one where Kentavious Caldwell-Pope would not even be considered the primary target anymore. The kind of trade that I'm referring to would actually be option number 2 to reacquire Caldwell-Pope, and here we have a trade involving Westbrook, Kristaps Porzingis, and Caldwell-Pope himself. This would be a mega trade that includes 2 max contract players. Westbrook would be going back to Washington, and Porzingis would be joining the Lakers. It's not that hard to imagine a deal like this one happening either. The best season that Washington has had in years now actually came with Westbrook on their team. Westbrook and Bradley Beal appeared to really enjoy playing together, and I could truly see Washington being willing to take him back if the deal benefits them. No one really knows for sure if they envision Porzingis in their future. If they really do, then this deal probably would not be possible, but if they don't, then I really could see it happening. And if they would be willing to make a trade like this one, they would have a better team to put around Westbrook than they did during the last time he played with them. And not only that, but they would be getting draft compensation with him. Then for the Lakers, while they may not truly want Porzingis, he would likely be a much better fit for them compared to Westbrook, and in addition to that, they would of course reacquire Caldwell-Pope too. A frontcourt pairing of Anthony Davis and Porzingis might be a bit risky in terms of staying healthy, but they would theoretically fit well on the court together. They each have very unique qualities for big men in today's NBA. They can both play off the ball on offense, they are more mobile than their height may indicate, and they are all around very versatile. And then there is no question about the fit of Caldwell-Pope on their team. In fact, he would be a great fit in a starting lineup including LeBron, AD, and Porzingis. And that to me is how option number 2 could look like to reacquire Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. But how about a third option? Well, bear with me here because this one is going to get a little wild. The third way they could reacquire Caldwell-Pope is by including him in not only a big trade, but a big 3-team trade. With all of the rumors coming out lately connecting the Lakers to a potential Westbrook trade with the Charlotte Hornets, Indiana Pacers, or some other team, a 3 or 4 team deal could be a possibility. And one hypothetical trade that could make sense for every team involved might include the Lakers, Hornets, and Wizards. Here we have a trade including Westbrook being dealt to Washington, Porzingis being traded to Charlotte, and then Gordon Hayward and Caldwell-Pope being dealt to the Lakers. In addition to that, Washington will be compensated with a draft pick from each team for giving up the 2 players with the most value in the overall trade. Again, I know that this trade is a big time hypothetical, but let me explain why it would actually benefit each team involved. For the Lakers, they would be getting 2 players who would be great fits for their team. Yes, I am aware that Gordon Hayward is a bit injury prone, but taking on his contract would allow them to get rid of Westbrook without having to give up a draft pick. Along with that, they would not even have to give up a first round draft pick, nor Talen Horton-Tucker to acquire Caldwell-Pope either, and a trade like this one is the only way I could see that happening. Then for the Charlotte Hornets, this trade would provide them with the type of big that they are looking for. They are reportedly interested in a big like Miles Turner, but he may not be available. Rather than giving up more than they might want to for Turner, they could acquire Porzingis for a lower price and get rid of Gordon Hayward while doing it. Now they would be giving up a first round draft pick to compensate Washington, but the trade would overall improve their team. Finally, for the Washington Wizards, they would not only be getting a player that helped them get into the playoffs, but they would be getting draft compensation too. In my opinion, a trade like this one would all around benefit each team involved. Now, it definitely would be a long shot to actually happen, but I do like the idea of it. With all of that being said though, that will conclude my thoughts on the 3 ways for the Lakers to reacquire Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And what do you guys think? Which option was your favorite? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. But before you go, I would like to invite you to join the official Discord for the channel. If you like having NBA debates and discussion with others in real time, being updated on NBA news, or even being able to chat with me, then you really should think about joining. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to everyone who took the time to watch until the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.